During this African Heritage Month, I want to take a moment to reflect on just how fortunate we are to live in a county with such diversity. As the first county in the nation to proclaim African Heritage Month during September, Montgomery County is the proud home of more than 54,000 African immigrants who represent 15% of the overall immigrant population in our community. The African community not only adds rich heritage and culture, but also drives our economic engine through various small businesses throughout our communities. While many of our small businesses and marginalized communities bore the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic, our African business owners showed unimaginable resiliency during extremely difficult times in our county. So I'm so proud to recognize African Heritage Month, reflect on our past, and celebrate all there is to the African community in Montgomery County and the endless cultural and economic contributions brought to our county. Let me turn to Councilmember Jawando.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great day, and though we've been celebrating African Heritage Month, and we're the first in the nation to do it as a county in September, and now it's happening all across. I think Anne Arundel County just this year celebrated African Heritage Month in September, and some of our folks from Montgomery County participated there. This is actually the first annual council full celebration that we're having, I believe, and the county executive normally does one. So really happy that we're starting this tradition with this council. As Council President mentioned, we are an extremely diverse community, and coming on the heels of the census data, 1,050,000 plus residents, 20% are Black, which means they're of African descent, right? And if you add our Afro-Latina brothers and sisters, you get an even higher number. And that means that 200,000 plus people trace their roots back to the continent of Africa. And if you know your kind of history, we all trace our roots to the continent of Africa. So it's appropriate to be celebrating today. I think one of the things that's often I've experienced as a son of a Nigerian immigrant who came to this country, but who grew up here as an African American, I've always worked really hard and thought it was extremely important to draw that connection between the diaspora wherever they be found. And you couldn't look at the horrible images of how the African descent Haitians, and I want to thank Councilmember Navarro for leading the charge here to put a resolution together that we all signed. You could not look at that and not feel that that is a connection to the horrible history and legacy of slavery and racism in this world. And as the first African peoples to declare their freedom outside the continent of Africa and Haiti, it's important. I think we draw those cross-cultural and cross-global connections for people of African descent. And so today we celebrate the resiliency of our businesses here in the county, our African businesses, and we'll see a great video about many of them. But there's so many ways that the African immigrant community and the community of African descent in this county contributes in immeasurable ways. So I'm really excited that we're going to feature some great speakers and leaders here after we watch this great video produced in partnership with our PIO office, highlighting some. So we can go to the video right now.
Africa is a home of hospitality.
Beautiful.
Powerful.
The oldest ground in earth.
It's, traditions, it's culture, it's morals, it's values. That's what Africa is.
Montgomery County is home to over 54,000 Africans, which makes up 15% of the overall immigrant population in the county. In parallel with the rising number of Africans residing in the county, there's a significant number of African-owned businesses highly contributing to the county's economy and that of our nation. Most of these businesses were brought to a halt during the pandemic, the hospitality, entertainment, and non-essential sectors being the hardest hit. So this African Heritage Month, we celebrate those businesses and the faces behind them, not only to recognize their heritage, but also their resiliency. For many, dancing is a hobby, but for ASSANE KONTE, dancing is more than that, serving as an educational tool to educate the world about Africa.
I'm an educator. That's the way I look at it, because what I do is bringing back the history and the culture through the art. to the dance floor and to the history, because the dancing is included in history. Everything we do is look like a musical theater. It tells history about our people in Africa. It's a passion and something, it's a gift.
His career as a professional dancer began at age 15 in Senegal. After spending a decade dancing in different parts of Africa, he came to the United States to pursue a career as an independent performer. He then worked with numerous organizations around the country as a musical arranger and guest choreographer before he settled in Montgomery County. ASSANE left Africa with the dream of establishing his own dance company in the United States, and in 1983, he did just that. Along with his childhood friend, he founded the Kankuran West African Dance Company in Takoma Park, where he continues to serve as the artistic director, choreographer, and costume designer. At age 70, he has no plans of slowing down and has even bigger plans for the future.
I wanted to have a school with the curriculum with dance, African. They don't have it in the United States, and that's my vision.
Meet Ana Molaho, poet, comedian, singer-songwriter,
what do you expect?
and actress.
Like you're going to war.
Born and raised in Kenya, Ana started performing when she was only 7 years old.
It wasn't that somebody took me to a place and I was like fell in love with it. It was just the music I had. I created my own songs.
After receiving praise and support from her community for her performances, she joined a theater company that ended up opening doors she'd never imagined.
So I won. I was the best actress in all the universities in Kenya. And I was so excited. And they said, those who won will go to the US for 1 week for an arts workshop.
At the arts workshop, Ana realized that there would be more opportunities in the United States for her to grow as a performer, so she decided to stay. She would then learn that she would have to take a non-traditional route to succeed.
You know, there was always typecasting, oh, you have an accent, so we're going to give you this little part of an immigrant here and there. And I said, no, I have to do something that speaks to me, that will be educative, that will be entertaining, that will create an awareness of diversity, and just performing my spoken word pieces at different cafes instead of looking for auditions.
From there, Ana established her own production company and band. In the following years, her triple threat talent took off, making her one of the most sought-after African comedian, poet, and spoken word Afrobeat artist, including being the main performer during the inaugural events of former President Barack Obama, among others. Out of all the places she's performed, Ana says that performing in Montgomery County holds a special place in her heart.
In Montgomery County, I receive a lot of love, you know. I see that it's diverse. Still believe in Africa, and I'm proud to be an African.
When she received a sewing machine as a gift from her husband, Abigail ASSANTE never once thought it would one day become her life and lead to a successful full-time business. A hobby turned into a business is how she describes it.
I started making like a pillowcase, and I realized that I loved just putting things together. It turned into a business.
A few years later, she quit her 20-year babysitting job to pursue her business full-time from her basement. And in 2016, Abigail opened her own shop in Silver Spring. Although she's called Montgomery County her home for the last 40 years, Abigail loves and embraces her Ghanaian heritage.
I mean, I love American culture, but I also appreciate my African culture. I take the good from here, and I put it together. It makes a beautiful thing.
During the pandemic, Abigail had completely closed the doors of her vibrant store.
We cater to occasions, so if you have nowhere to go, you don't make clothes. So we were hit very hard.
She said that she's grateful for the financial assistance she's received from the county to keep her business alive. And she's happy to see previous and new customers coming back. Hailing from Nigeria, Augusta Nyao always had a knack for the arts. She moved to the United States in 1983 to pursue a bachelor's degree in business administration at Texas College. Her love for the arts never left her. So after graduation, Augusta participated in different competitions and training related to event decor, to which she credits the culture that raised her.
I came from a very rich African culture, and our culture is such that, encourages us to be whom we are created to be. And that's the heritage that built me up and gave me the strength.
A few years later, in 2007, with the push of a friend, she made the move to Montgomery County. The same year, she decided to put the event decor training she took to use and launch her event and decor company, Touch of Elegance.
I've always shoot for perfection, for elegance, and that's how the name came.
Because gatherings were not allowed during the pandemic, Augusta's event contracts were either canceled or moved to the following year, forcing her business to completely close its doors for 15 months. Augusta is happy to be back at her happy place, creating her clients' dream events. HAWAIDA HASSANEIN has always been one to think and plan ahead. Born and raised in Montgomery County to Egyptian parents who settled in Olney, Maryland in 1974, she grew up with the Northern African culture ingrained in her. Where she comes from, traditionally, the women are expected to stay home to care for their children while the men work. That's why when it came time to go to college, she created her own program and pursued a bachelor's degree in international daycare management and a minor in early childhood education at the University of Maryland, with the idea that she would one day be able to open and run a childcare center while raising her kids there.
I wanted to find a way to get these women out of their homes, but still be in an environment where they could bring their children.
While operating the childcare center, HAWAIDA saw a need.
I couldn't find teachers that were qualified, but I found a lot of good-hearted people. They just needed to be trained, and so I opened H&H Childcare Training so that I could reach out to those people and get them trained and qualified and get them working in the childcare centers. The best part about working in Montgomery County is the opportunities that I'm able to incorporate my culture, my traditions into my livelihoods.
HAWAIDA hopes to reach and help more women feel empowered and financially independent while maintaining the root of their cultures. It all started on the streets of Togo. Little did Abigina Amuzu know that the sport he played for fun with his friends would turn into a successful career and even help shape thousands of young people one day.
It teach me a life skills, let me be who I am today, know what is good, what is the bad. I was so serious about it.
That dedication took him places. He joined the Togo national team and represented his country in the 1986 World Cup, before moving to France in 1989 to play professionally there. After nearly 20 years playing soccer professionally, Abiginan, now commonly known as Coach Fofo, thought of giving back and introducing the youth to a sport that had changed his life. In 2000, he moved to Montgomery County after a friend invited him to manage a youth soccer training program. He then realized that those who couldn't afford to pay for training were left behind, and he found a way to reach them.
We go to the park and I get on kids together. Hey, you want to play soccer? And then parents start seeing me say, oh, this guy is a great coach. And then they start bringing me more kids. That's where everything started.
That effort led to the birth of the Elite Soccer Youth Development Academy, a community program that was created to offer the youth an outlet through recreational and competitive soccer programs.
Let's go, move the ball, come on!
During the pandemic, when he could no longer train his students in person, Coach Fofo took his coaching to Zoom and had his young players convert their living rooms into a soccer field. And for those who didn't have a soccer ball,
I went to their house, put my mask and dropped ball for each house. The pandemic touched everybody.
But he wasn't going to let it take soccer away from them. Coach Fofo hopes to keep impacting more young lives with the beautiful sport of soccer. Omar Kwate never thought his grilling skills would lead him to being a restaurant owner one day. The passion for cooking and entrepreneurship was ingrained in him and his younger sister Aja from an early age, as they watched their mother build a successful catering business from the ground up after moving to the United States from Senegal in 2002. She then went on to open an African food store in Langley Park, where Omar's grilling skills found a place to flourish.
I would just step outside lunchtime to make some food for the workers and myself. I mean, of course, for us to have lunch, and people was trying to buy it.
With several customers often approaching him about buying what he was cooking, the entrepreneurial spirit he grew up with kicked in, and with the help of his sister Aja, they introduced Senegalese food to the community at local festivals and other events where they received positive feedback.
It's a great combination to be, and fortunate to be able to work, along my sister and my family, and it's a blessing.
The duo had always wanted to open a restaurant in Montgomery County, as it was where they grew up and considered to be their second home after Senegal. Last September, during the pandemic, they opened a second location in downtown Silver Spring.
It was tough. It's a challenge, just like opening any business. I mean, especially in the pandemic, which was a little harder than usual. Because we were already known in the area, people were excited that we opened, and we were excited. Opening in Silver Spring, a restaurant in Silver Spring, was always our dream, like all of us. So when the opportunity presented itself, we literally just jumped on it.
Thanks to takeout orders from their loyal customers and financial assistance program from the county, they were able to survive the pandemic. Omar and Aja have plans to keep growing and introducing their Senegalese menu to an even larger crowd. Councilmember Will Jawando and his council colleagues have put forth legislative measures and provided financial assistance to support local small businesses, which Councilmember Jawando says are the backbone of our local economy.
We have the largest African immigrant population in the country here in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, and a large concentration of those are in Montgomery County. So they really are a vital part of our economy, and we know coming out of the pandemic, we're hit particularly hard.
To help them bounce back, Councilmember Jawando has been visiting and highlighting different African and other businesses every week in his Our Community, Our Businesses series.
It just underscores that we have such a diverse tapestry here, and certainly the African immigrant community is just as a big part of that as any other community.
Montgomery County is the first in the nation to proclaim the month of September as African Heritage Month. And for Councilmember Jawando,
Mr. William Opeyemi Jawando.
This has a very special meaning, as he is the first African member to serve on the council, coming from a Nigerian background, which he proudly showed at his inauguration.
We were the first in the country and have started a trend of this all around the nation, where cities and municipalities are celebrating African Heritage Month in September. And so to be the first, it's just really a testament to how great Montgomery County is. We value the great tapestry here, we value our diversity, and the contributions that so many communities make to making us a great place.
As the famous African proverb goes, the best preparation for tomorrow is to make sure today's work is superbly done. By emphasizing this very point, we will recognize the all-rounded effort many visionary Africans exert by making a difference in their respective trades and supporting their families and communities. Happy African Heritage Month.
That was great, and I think now is the time to turn to council members, Council President, if anyone wants to make comments. So I'll defer to you on that.
Yeah, thank you. That was terrific. Yeah, a couple folks have already texted me. Thank you so much, Councilmember Jawando and all the participants. That's a fantastic video. Council Vice President Albornoz.
That was a beautiful tribute and video. Thank you, Councilmember Jawando. Thank you to our PIO team. And I am starving right now and feeling like playing soccer. So I want to give a special shout out to the Akuaje family in Montgomery Village. Growing up, Kweku, Nana, Na, and my best friend Kwab and Mr. and Mrs. Akuaje were like an extended family. And I spent many, many, many afternoons and evenings in their living room and in their basement, smelling the absolutely delicious jollof rice, the tilapia, the banku, and so much incredible food. And being in their home always felt so familiar to me, because as the son of immigrants myself, the focus on family, the focus on being together, to being united, so proud of our culture and heritage and doing everything we can to keep it alive among generations, felt so right. And so high on my bucket list is the opportunity to visit Accra and Ghana one day. to see the extended Akuaje family. And I look forward to doing that and can't thank our African community enough for all of the contributions they make culturally and also economically and in every corner of our society. So this is a wonderful month, a wonderful tribute, and I look forward to just another exciting time to celebrate just this rich heritage and culture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Navarro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilmember Jawando, thank you so much for leading this extraordinary celebration. That video, I think, really encapsulated this extraordinary tapestry that we have here in Montgomery County. You know, when we talk about diversity time and time again, I always say that we use it, we throw that term around, but it is so important to frame this through the lens of abundance. That's what I see. I see that Montgomery County is home to an extraordinary immigrant community that is really motivated by this notion of prosperity and abundance for everybody. And as we talk about, you know, the continent of Africa, oftentimes I have to remind some folks, as I remember, it's not a country, it's a continent with this extraordinary history, with amazing diversity within not just the continent, but each country. And we are so fortunate to have such a vibrant continental African community. And, you know, as it was mentioned, that culture, those traditions, the food, the music, it all flows right through so many different parts of the world, including where I was born in Venezuela, being a Caribbean country. And of course, my husband, who was born in Haiti, you know, you see that these traditions, that this culture continues to be alive and well in the Caribbean and in so many other parts of the world. And so how lucky can we be to be able to partake in this resilient and entrepreneurial spirit? You know, I had a really awesome conversation with Chef of Wono of Hakuna Matata in Wheaton, talking about how was it going through the thick of the pandemic. And a lot of the themes were the same. You know, it is about resiliency, and it's so exciting. The last thing I will share is that it's so interesting to hear some of these professors and experts who are futurists, who study demographic changes and things like that around the globe. And what is inevitable when you look at the data is this notion and this concept that the future is in Africa. The growth in terms of innovation, entrepreneurship, birth rate, et cetera, it's in Africa. And so when you're looking out into 2030, 2050, that is where it's going to be happening, as they say. So again, we are so extraordinarily fortunate here that we are able to integrate all of this, you know, amazing resiliency, historic, valuable contributions of this community into making Montgomery County so vibrant and so amazing. So happy African Heritage Month. And boy, looking at, you know, all of this pieces of the video, I'm like, I like to go take some dance classes, then I'll have to go sample of the food, and all of these other things that are happening are just really awesome. So congratulations, everyone, and thank you for everything you do to make Montgomery County such an amazing place.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Reamer.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone for joining us. And Councilmember Jawando, thank you for ensuring that this county and the council would commemorate our community and our African community, because it's really important. I remember when you came out for our inauguration in your family's attire, and it was electric. I know for everyone there, but I'm sure much more so for everyone who was watching you as a proud son of their heritage. And so it's really nice that you have, continued to elevate our community in so many different ways. And I just want to thank all of the community leaders and entrepreneurs and just everyone from our thriving, exciting African immigrant community. You are such an important part of what makes Montgomery County special and different and, amazing. And we're just really, we're celebrating you because we are just grateful for what you bring and how you make us better. And so thank you so much. And we'll see you, we'll see you outside the council office building soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rice.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilmember Jawando. Thank you to the community leaders. I just want to take this moment to remind everyone that we do have a great sister city relationship with Gondar, Ethiopia. I was fortunate enough to travel to Gondar at the beginning of January of 2019 and really saw that entrepreneurial spirit that's there in our homeland that also is represented here in the United States of America. And it's one in which we cannot forget. And so for those who continue to talk about going back home, it is incredibly important because we want to continue to build those bridges of opportunity and connectivity between the motherland, Africa, and here in the United States is incredibly important as the descendants of Africans who were enslaved and came here to this country, that we continue that connectivity and we don't lose sight of where we came from. And understand how important that is for us, just as many other immigrants who voluntarily immigrate to the United States have that connectivity with their homeland as well. And so I want to encourage us to continue to support our sister city relationship. I know there have been conversations with many community leaders about expanding that to other countries in Africa. And so certainly from that perspective, I look forward to, during my short time here on the council, continuing to help foster that. But want to make sure that we continue to do that and continue to lift up our great businesses, our great culture, everything that we benefit from by continuing to have that connectivity with our African immigrant population. So thank you to everyone and look forward to that continued partnership and continued work in the future.
Thank you. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilmember Jawando, for bringing all of this to us today. And I certainly associate myself with everything that has been said. I try not to repeat it, but sometimes I do. I just wanted to thank everyone who's here today and thank everyone for being such an important part of what we all do every day, and that's enjoy each other. And I think there was a theme. Everyone has mentioned the food, and I certainly want to mention that as well. And one of the real dilemmas of having events like this on Zoom is you don't get the meal, you don't get the food, but we will be back and we will be able to do that. This morning is just another example of what you do for us each and every day. On today, you've educated us, you've certainly entertained us, and of course we saw the food and you made us hungry. So, but thank you so very, very much. We appreciate each and every one of you for everything that you've done, and thank you for being such a major part of our community. Thank you very much. Mr. President, I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Councilmember Glass.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and I'm so happy that we're celebrating African Heritage Month here. And Councilmember Jawando, thank you for continuing your family traditions, bringing them and celebrating them here in the county, celebrating them with all of us here on the council. And over the last number of decades, the DC region has been among one of the top destinations for individuals leaving the continent and wanting to start a new life in the United States. And I think it's a true testament to our community here in Montgomery County and across Maryland that so many have chosen to live here and restart their lives here. It's a testament to the resiliency and the entrepreneurial spirit that everybody has. And of course, I personally appreciate everybody sharing their culture and their cuisine with us. And, the bottom line, frankly, is that we are committed to making sure that everybody feels welcome and safe here in Montgomery County. And all of you who are joining us today play a vital role in making that happen. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for making our community a welcoming one for all. And I look forward to celebrating the rest of African Heritage Month. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Friedson.
Thank you so much. Appreciate Councilmember Jawando, your leadership of this really wonderful celebration of our community. This isn't just a celebration of the African diaspora. This is a celebration of Montgomery County, who we are, what we are, who and what we value. And certainly the African community is such an important part of who we are, a group that numbers large at 54,000, but far outweighs in culture, in influence, and entrepreneurial impact, far outweighs the numbers even still. I am personally so proud that the DC region, that Montgomery County specifically, is a magnet for such a vibrant community. Certainly, your presence in our community as it grows continues to add to the vibrancy, to the dynamism of what makes Montgomery County the place it is. I think a lot about the proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And in so many ways, that is a mantra that Montgomery County has embraced, that we borrowed in so many ways from the continent of Africa. And in so many ways, that was how we handled this past 19 months during this pandemic. And certainly this community was an integral part of the county's response to make sure that we weren't leaving anybody behind, to make sure that we were talking to residents in their communities, at their homes, in their native tongues, to make sure that we were testing, we were vaccinating, and we were keeping everybody healthy. And certainly we are healthier, we are safer, we are stronger now because of your role in our response. And I look forward to not just surviving pandemics together, but to celebrating many more happy occasions and to continue to benefit from the culture and everything that you bring to Montgomery County. Thank you so much, and just honored to be able to participate today.
Thank you, council members, for all those reflections. Now, Councilmember Jawando, right, we want to read the proclamation. So I will kick us off. This is a proclamation, everyone, of the Montgomery County Council. Whereas September is African Heritage Month, which recognizes and embraces all people of African descent and celebrates our diverse culture and heritage. And
whereas Montgomery County is the first county in the nation to proclaim the month of September as African Heritage Month. And
whereas with 54 countries, all with different languages, greetings, dances, and gastronomic delights, the African culture and identity is vast and diverse and is rich in history, values, and tradition. And
Montgomery County is home to more than 54,000 Africans who represent 15% of the overall immigrant population in our community. And
whereas we are grateful to the African community that not only contributes to our county culturally, but also economically through its various businesses. And
whereas the Montgomery County Council's inaugural African Heritage Month commemoration theme is the resiliency of African businesses during the pandemic. And
whereas this year's commemoration highlights African business owners from different sectors, explains how they navigated their way through the COVID-19 pandemic, and showcases opportunities for future growth. And
whereas during this African Heritage Month, we not only celebrate the heritage of these business owners, but we also recognize the resiliency that they showed during this difficult time. And
whereas we recognize the rich mosaic that is celebrated during African Heritage Month as a way of preserving the past, linking to the present, and educating future generations.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby proclaims September as African Heritage Month, and be it further resolved that all residents are encouraged to recognize the outstanding contributions of our African residents who have greatly enriched our community. Signed on this day, the 28th of September, by myself and the council president and the entire council. So congratulations to everybody. We're going to hear just briefly, 1 minute or less, because appreciate the indulgence. This is an important day and a historic day for us, from some of our great leaders who are here have joined us. And our first speaker, our first 1 minute speaker, I'll emphasize that again, is Anika Ghali, who's the co-chair of the African Affairs Advisory Group of Montgomery County, another great entity that is charged to bring and uplift the voice of the African immigrant community here in Montgomery County. So Anika.
Thank you, Councilmember Jawando, and thank you all. My name is Anika Ghali. I'm from Côte d'Ivoire and co-chair for the African Affairs Advisory Group. I am happy to be here celebrating our great businesses during this African Heritage Month. I will a little bit tweak the order. Grace, my vice co-chair, will go first, then I will go. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, that was 30 seconds, but you got it. Go ahead, Grace.
Hello, my name is Grace Karambiri, and I am the Vice Chair for the African Affairs Advisory Group, and I am from Burkina Faso. So thank you so much for the opportunity. AAAG aims to ensure that the county executive is well informed and able to act effectively to the concerns of the Africans living in Montgomery County. In doing so, we have to reach out to African communities in Montgomery County to understand their needs. We celebrated the 13th Proclamation on September 2nd, 2021. The theme was diverse, resilient, and thriving. And we had the opportunity to meet some wonderful small businesses in the African community and to share about their experiences for the past year.
Wonderful.
Yes. So I'll come back, sorry. Yeah. So this year, the common theme for African is resilience. Resilience we are indeed. But should we celebrate this resilience or stretch it to its limit? The same businesses that we are celebrating today are concerned, and for good reasons, about the Silver Spring Business Improvement District. Throughout the US, during the years of urban renewal in city after city, businesses districts that were owned by people of color were interrupted and the community destroyed and displaced. And if we trace back why, the root cause would be from systemic racism found within the policy-making structures of these cities, which rendered mute the needs and concerns of these thriving local, largely Black-owned small businesses. The County Council stands to repeat this action this afternoon by overriding the county executive veto of the bid legislation. Moreover, the racial equity and social justice impact statement prepared by the County Council itself has stated that the bid will have a negative impact on racial equity. We all want the improvement and betterment of downtown Silver Spring, but not at the expense of minority communities. The consequences of a bid, its board structure and future action will change the urban district rich and diverse tapestry, largely built and sustained by African immigrant business owners. As we celebrate the resilience of African businesses this morning, let us also remember this afternoon the impact the bid will have on the survival of these businesses. Montgomery County prides itself on diversity and equity. As you vote today, please take the valid concerns of the community into consideration. And we look forward to working with you soon. An invitation to attend our monthly meetings and directly speak with our community stands for all of you here today. We hope to see you then. And thank you again for your invitation to join you all this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our last speaker, until we just say a quick hi to our business leaders, is Bishop Darlingston Johnson, the chairman of the African Immigrant Caucus. Bishop, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Councilman Jawando. I sit here and I reflect on where we were in 2004, 2005, when we met as a church of primarily African immigrants, met with the county council seeking to get permission to build, and how we felt then that It was as though we were not in the room. Nobody knew we were here. Nobody cared. But what a difference today feels like as I hear you declare this month African Heritage Month. So I want to congratulate the members of the County Council. In particular, I want to acknowledge the work that you, Councilman Jawando, are doing so that today the great contribution that African immigrants are making to Montgomery County, to Maryland, and to this nation are being recognized. Thank you so very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. Really appreciate that. I want to acknowledge Harriet Shangari, who's the County Executive's African Affairs Advisory Liaison. Good to see you, Harriet. Thank you for being here. And Ms. Ghali, Ms. Kamberi, and Bishop Johnson, thank you all for your comments. All right, and last but not least, all of our great business owners, the stars of the show here. And disclosure, Coach Fofo, Ava will be at practice at 5:30 today. She'll see you this afternoon. And then I think, I don't know if we have Abigail with us, but Abigail, I know I saw Nancy nodding that her shop was in Colesville Shopping Center, if you recognize the awning there. And Michelle has had several of her outfits, so she's one of our secret weapons. So we got to try her out. But we'll hear just briefly from any remarks or thank yous that Ms. HASSANEIN wants to say, and then we'll just go down the list very briefly. Ms. HASSANEIN, good to see you. Are you on mute?
I think you can hear me now, right? I just want to say thank you to the council members, and I'm actually a second generation. The true founder of our businesses is my mom, Mimi HASSANEIN, who has been known in the council for her famous baklava many, many times over. But I do want to thank you for all the efforts and work that you've done. And, you know, I'm so happy that we'll be able to pass this on to our children as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We all love Mimi and her baklava. Anna? Is Anna with us? Maybe she's not with us. Okay. So Coach Fofo, you're up.
It is a day. I just want to say thank you for all the council members for this proclamation. It's not a day me personally I had to miss. I'm at work right now, but I put myself to be living this, with you guys. We love Montgomery County, and we also love the way we are accepted to be called Montgomery County home. And barely, we also make sure we put our knowledge to the next generation and ensure they are safe. And I learn every day what we call the diversity. What can we do in the community? Make sure our kids, the next generation, be safe and improve living in Montgomery County. So thank you for all the access we've been providing to us to merge our community. So we hope continue working with all the council members and make sure the word diversity, it should be more including and go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And Aja, I see you here on behalf of the Coty Grill. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I just want to say thank you so much to all the council members for having us. I choked up watching the video because it's like watching my childhood, growing up going to Baba Asan's Kankurang, or even Anna coming to Blair. I went to Blair High School. Anna coming to Blair to do these performances. They made it that it was okay to be African. It was fun. It's amazing. Africa is beautiful. So I'm a crybaby. So it just shows having them as leaders 10 years ago, that me seeing them doing this in the community in Montgomery County, that it was possible for me and my brother to own a restaurant. So I just want to say thank you to them, thank you to everybody, and yeah, Africa, we're amazing and we're beautiful and we can make it happen. Thank you for having us.
Amen. Awesome. I think our next retreat, we're going to have some food from you guys from your Silver Spring location. I think I'll make that motion.
Sure.
And Augusta, I see you're here. Touch of Elegance. Good to see you. Do you want to say something briefly?
Thank you very much, council members, Montgomery County, for incorporating us and making us feel welcomed in the community. I know that we come from a very rich culture, and I know that as you give us this opportunity to live it out, to include us in the community, I know that a lot of people will be blessed with what we come with and what we have. So I just want to say thank you very much for all you do for us.
Thank you. And last but not least, I see Anna, the actor, is here.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember, and everybody who's here. I really appreciate that you are highlighting all of us, the people from Africa or the diaspora, and the work that we do. But I just want to shout out to Montgomery County. You've always supported us African artists, and from the festivals to inviting us to your schools, and the library, working with the library, and everything that we do it because we love Africa, we love our people, we love our culture, and we see that you all are embracing us. So I just want to say thank you. And of course, since COVID is now, we can be out a little bit. Feel free to invite us to do more shows, more bands, more comedy, more acting. We are available. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Well, there you have it, Mr. President, from Senegal to Kenya to Egypt to Nigeria. We've made our rounds, and my heart is full. And Aja, don't worry, Sydney and I cry often. Sometimes we get a couple of others to do it as well. This is a great day, and happy African Heritage Month. And thank you to my colleagues for the indulgence. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Jawando, for your leadership on this. Thanks to each of you who participated and all our residents of African heritage for your essential contributions to our county, particularly all our small business owners who we look forward to working with in continued partnership to protect them during this recession and continue their vitality. We hope to see all of you again soon over some of those gastronomic delights that were promised in the proclamation. Maybe Aja can help us out. Thank you so much for that presentation, and stay in close touch with us.